yogi. Today I'm gonna show you how to create this hip opening yoga flow with my sequencing magnets. For this flow you need two basic packages. The Sun Salutation Special Edition, the class structuring magnets, and a few add-ons. The externally rotated add-on, reclined and inversion add-on, the seated add-on, the neutral standing add-on, and the downward facing dog add-on. Let's get started. Then I'm gonna lay out the structure for my yoga class. Today I'm gonna go for opening, warm-up, heat building, targeted warm-up, peak pose, it's gonna be a peak pose flow, then cool down, and the closing part. Then I choose a peak pose, and as I chose find grounding as a theme, I chose tree pose as my peak pose, because tree pose is a balancing pose. You stand on one foot. It's also a hip opening pose, and I think it's perfect to find grounding while the upper body is maybe moving and you have to find your roots that stabilize your whole body in this pose. Next, I'm gonna create the targeted warm-up, which is very important for the final peak pose. And as we chose tree pose as our peak pose, it's important to open up the hips, especially all the externally rotated poses, as well as some balancing poses to practice standing on one foot. As I have now finished my targeted warm-up, I'm gonna adapt my little peak pose sequence. I add some prep poses for people who are not able to do the peak pose and just want to prepare for the final peak pose. Or I also gonna add Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana C, which is also an externally rotated hip opening pose and is a little more advanced than tree pose for those people who want a little more. Now I start with the opening part. Here I go for a pose that is nice and easy, a reclined pose, which is also a hip opening pose. So this is perfect to ground yourself in the beginning of the practice, to find your breath and to get a light hip opener. So I chose the reclined butterfly pose here. Now I go for the general warm-up. The general warm-up is in the beginning of the practice, so your body is not warm yet, so you want to warm up all the important joints and muscles. So I usually go with some spine warm-ups, some neck warm-ups, some twists, some side bends, and this is perfect to increase your mobility and to start into your yoga practice. The goal of the heat building part is to sweat. So here it's perfect to choose some Sun Salutations, and I chose the special edition Sun Salutation Magnet set because here you have the option to create Sun Salutation A, B and C and all variations you want to create. So I chose a variation of a Sun Salutation for my heat building sequence. Now I'm gonna finish it off with the cool down and the closing part. For the cool down, I chose some complementary hip opening poses, as well as some forward bends, some back bends, gentle back bends in this case, and some poses you can stretch and breathe and really cool down to prepare for the final resting position. And last but not least, I chose Shavasana as my final resting pose. And that's it. That's how you create fast and easy yoga flow with my sequencing magnets. And before you go, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel.